Dustin, I would close out with a twofer. And I need to make it a twofer because individually it doesn't feel like the greatest victory laps. I mean, they qualified, but I'm talking about Kyler Murray and Zach Ertz. I actually think Zach Ertz fits into this category much better than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, look, he was injured. He didn't finish the season. He was quarterback 7 in points per game. That's not great. And in fact, I had him ranked higher than that. Yeah, right? Didn't it feel like he was somewhere around quarterback 12 to 14 in actuality?
It did. As someone that had, I mean, I had him on my roster this year for redraft, and I thought I was getting a steal. I'm like, oh, I'm going to draft a quarterback somewhat early. He's got the running ability, you know, he's got the scoot to him, and right. It just felt like every week that it was just a letdown. And I had Jared Goff as my number 2, and there was a lot of weeks where I was like, do I play the matchup here and sit Kyler, even though I drafted him 8 rounds earlier? Like, I mean, that was a serious conundrum in my head, like every single week once I saw how good this Lions offense was doing. And yeah, it just didn't feel great starting Kyler because you didn't know what you were going to get on a week-to-week basis.
But I will give him this. For a guy who did not have his entire cast around him at any point during the season, DeAndre Hopkins suspended for the first 6 games, which I knew, and I still put him in this spot, saying that's 6 games. He can make it work with Hollywood Brown, which he did. Hollywood Brown looked fantastic those first 6 games. Hollywood Brown then gets injured immediately before DeAndre Hopkins comes back. Zach
not
Ertz
a coincidence.
Gets injured. You're right. Zach Ertz gets injured not too short after that. You know, it's excuses. I get it. Nobody wants to hear excuses, especially for a mobile quarterback who should be able to make up for some of that in fantasy value. But the fact that he was still quarterback 7 and actually was somewhat consistent, maybe not consistently elite, but was actually consistent in some respects. I mean, I know you said like, yeah, there is some Goff versus Murray games or weeks where Goff was the better play, but I think that speaks to how good Goff was this year as well. But I'm really actually more excited about Zach Ertz because Zach Ertz was the tight end 5 leading up to his injury before he got injured in week 10. Tight end 5 is what you needed. If you didn't take Travis Kelce, you know, which you should have, as of course me and Dustin both begged you to, we were on him from the jump, weren't we? Don't listen to last week. If you didn't draft Travis Kelce, you needed somebody like Zach Ertz. So as the tight end 5, and he was consistent. You know, again, consistently elite, no, but you didn't tank your week ever, and that says a lot.
If you could tell me, okay, you're going to draft Zach Ertz in whatever, he probably went in what, like the 8th round, 7th,
I think I got him in the 9th, 10th in one league, yeah.
If you're going to tell me you're going to get tight end 5 production all season long, and you can draft him that late, fucking sign me up all day long. I mean, tight end 5 is set it and forget it. Like, you don't have to worry about playing matches. And like I said, you get them that late in your draft, like you're just stacking other positions, you know, stacking up those running backs and wide receivers. And then you can get a late-ish round tight end that you don't have to worry about. I mean, that's the dream.
It is. Of course, the dream eventually had to come back to reality because he got injured. He's old. It happens. And now the Zach Ertz experience for me is probably over. Like next year, I'm not going to look at him as a value. I'd be too nervous. You know, maybe if he falls super far down and we're talking the late rounds, maybe I'll see, but I don't know.
But even then, just on the timing of his injury, I don't know that he'll necessarily come back to start the year. So he's probably someone you put on your watch list at the start of the year. And as he's starting to come back and you're starting to see these videos of him, you know, running routes and getting back at practice, and maybe they open up that 21-day window, you know, coming off of IR, that would be the time to pick him up on your roster and get him on there before the rest of your league mates do, before he has that week, you know, whatever week he comes back and he catches 6 balls for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns because they're very excited to have him back. You know, that would be the time to do it. But don't waste a roster spot, I think, early in the season rostering him, because you won't have to.